when you choose a blood pressure cuff, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate sized cuff for your patient. Now, this is a nice cuff because it gives you a little cheat sheet. You have an artery index marker right here and a line on this side. So when you wrap the cuff around the patient, this arrow should fall somewhere in between those two lines. If it doesn't, if it falls way out here, you need a bigger cuff. Or if it falls on this side, you need to get a smaller cuff. So let's say that this is the wrong size and you need to get a, different size. It's really easy to change this out. You have these little plastic pins that you just kind of twist and open up. So really nice and easy. And to hook them back together, just slides in and twists. You can hear it click. And you're set to go. To take a blood pressure on the Zoll, you're going to come over to the NIBP button and push it in. Note it says reading in progress under the NIBP. It takes the measurement while it's going up and when it deflates, so it's nice and quick. Alright, 109/72. You also note it'll take a pulse rate and also the MAP. Mean arterial pressure is 84. Now if you wanted to go into the blood pressure and change some parameters, you can come over to your navigation keys and highlight NIBP. You want to select it. Note that we can change a whole bunch of different alarms for the lower and upper halves of the blood pressure. So that's systolic, diastolic, and even a MAP alarm. NIBP mode allows you to change it from manual to automatic. Let's say we want to choose automatic. So I can go into my interval and I'm going to make it every 15 minutes. So now my blood pressure cuff will go off every 15 minutes on its own. Now the smart cuff, this works with the EKG to measure a more accurate blood pressure when there's patient motion or the ambulance is moving a lot. This is nice to have, but you also need to have that EKG going on at the same time. If we go down to turbo cuff, the turbo cuff is a 5-minute period of continuous blood pressure readings. So you could get up to, 10 or more blood pressures during that 5-minute period. So if you want to do that, you can just select to have the turbo cuff. Otherwise, to get out of the menu screen, I'm going to come up to menu because I can quickly get out. And that's a quick review on the blood pressure. To monitor SpO2 and the SpCO, carbon monoxide, you're going to place the sensor on the patient's finger. Notice that we are now calibrating. And searching. Okay, great. So now we have our SpO2 reading. Looks like it's 99/100. Notice we have the pulse rate going on over here, and because we don't have an EKG hooked up at the moment, it's taking the pulse rate from the SpO2 or pulse oximetry device, and the carbon monoxide has come up. That's the number below, and we're at 0. So this looks great, and the waveform doesn't look too bad either. So it looks like we're getting a nice accurate reading. Now if I want to change anything about the parameters for the SpO2 or SpCO, notice it's already highlighted, so we're going to select it. Now once again we can choose the alarms. Our lower alarm is set at 85 and the upper is 100. I'm okay with that. Our carbon monoxide, I'm good. And you always want to keep the carbon monoxide monitoring on. It's just a good extra thing. You might as well if the patient is already hooked up to the pulse oximeter. Now the averaging time. The averaging time is set at 8 seconds under the default because this is what is recommended for most patients. Now you can change this to, well, let's change it to 4 seconds first. 4 seconds is only used when you have a patient who has a rapidly changing SpO2 condition, you know, someone with a severe respiratory distress. So you want to monitor it more often. But, as you saw before, I could change it to 16 seconds. Now, this is not always recommended unless the 8 seconds is inaccurate due to increased artifact. When you do go down to the 4 seconds, you will have increased artifact. But I'm going to place this back to 8 seconds because that's the default and it's recommended. If we scroll down to the sensitivity, normal sensitivity is recommended for most patients. If we want to increase it to maximum sensitivity, this is only used for patients with low perfusion. And you need to know that if you choose this, the readings are going to be more prone to artifact also. But I'm going to go back to the normal sensitivity. Next we have the heart rate or pulse rate tone, which allows you to listen to the heart rate, which is good when you have a severe patient that you want to monitor really well. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Okay. So this time, instead of using the home button, I'm just going to scroll down and highlight this arrow to get out of the screen. And that is how you do pulse oximetry.